immigrated to the US at the age of 3. So, for the all intents and purposes, I grew up in the United States. However, I am coming from an immigrant background. I have two younger brothers who are both born in the US, and we had very different experiences growing up as the eldest daughter of immigrant parents, as well as just, you know, the experiences that we had as children. And so one of the things that comes with being the eldest daughter, is definitely the responsibilities and a lot of the expectations that your parents put on you. So growing up, I checked all the boxes. I did everything that I was supposed to. I went to college, got a well-paying job, very steady. Eventually got married, had the child, had the son.
Right.
Everything was just going the way that it was supposed to go until finally sometime in probably 2013 was the
Mm,
starting of my healing journey, when I just kind of looked around and I'm like, I have everything that I thought I wanted.
right.
Why do I feel so empty, and why do I feel so disconnected? And I mean, for the most part, my son hadn't been born yet at that time. So it was a little bit easier to ignore the signs and just like the intuitive nudges of something's not right. Your soul's not aligned. However, 2016, when my son was born, was really the nail in the coffin, because if you really want to expedite your healing journey, have a child, because they will hold up a
Yes.
mirror to you
Oh, yeah.
and highlight all of the things that you've tried so hard to ignore and just bury under the rug, because all of a sudden you have this little being that you're raising, and then all of a sudden triggers your inner child and all of the wounding and all of the experiences that your inner child also needed healing. So that 2016 was really the turning point of when I thought, okay, enough is enough. I can't consciously and intentionally raise this child to be a contributing member of society while I still myself have not resolved things and
Yeah.
don't feel aligned with myself. It felt very hypocritical and I couldn't do it. So that was really the start of getting to where I am right now.
So take us back to the first time you ever heard of Reiki or even considered trying a session. What was that like for you?
So the first time I tried Reiki, I've never heard of it before. I'm sure that's everyone's story. The first time that I tried Reiki, oddly enough, I was looking for a massage. I was
Yeah.
having really like bad body aches at the time. This was probably around 2013, 2014, when I was just trying to survive. I was on pharmaceutical medications.
Oh boy.
It was just not meshing with me well. And it left my body in a place that was just very much lacking in vitality.
Right.
And I was just like, I need a massage, but it's 7 o'clock at night. Where am I going to go? I just like Googled, um, you know, where can I go at this point? One place, or for whatever reason, I somehow found myself with a Reiki practitioner. And that was the first time I had ever tried Reiki. And I was a little skeptical because I'm like, what do you mean you're not going to touch me? Like, I need you to
Right.
rub out my shoulders.
Right.
But,
Right. Right.
yeah. So I was just like, you know what? At this point, I'm willing to try anything. I laid down, no hands. It was just all like, very, she moved my energy in a very gentle way. And that was definitely the first time I was like, I don't know what just happened. This lady did not lay a finger on me, but I had never felt so clear and
Mm,
so like just at peace than
yeah.
when I left that session. And pretty much after that moment was when I was like, okay, I still don't know what Reiki is, but
Yeah.
we're just gonna keep on going. So
Good. So I kind of like, what do you advise people who are here curious, they're poking around the network, they hear about Reiki, they're reading about your experience and listening about it, but what kind of advice would you give someone just starting on
Mhm.
their healing or spiritual journey?
I mean, there's a reason why. There's definitely some sort of divine guidance that has led you to where you are. Like whether it's like, poking around the healing network, maybe thinking, getting some sort of nudge that like, maybe Reiki might be something that I'm a little interested in, but I don't know what it is. It seems a little woo woo to me. But a lot of the times, you hear it all the time, like trust your gut. Your gut's guiding you. And more times than not, your gut is like kind of leading you to all of the places, the people, the experiences that you are meant to experience.
Right.
So if you're already kind of getting that little twinge in your, in your stomach saying like, I feel drawn to this, but I don't know why, lean into it. Like you never, as cliche as it sounds, like you don't know how amazing it could be on the other side. So
Yeah.
definitely if you're here for a reason.
And for me, it's like when I was really sick, when nothing else was working. And I like working with clients like that when their back is against the wall and they're just open. Like, if this
Mhm.
can help, why not? Right?
Right,
Like,
right.
there's
And if
not
it
much
doesn't
to
help,
lose. Like,
yeah, if it doesn't help, you'll be exactly where you are right now.
yeah,
So it's literally nothing to lose.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And you'll at least understand the experience. And I also think, you have to find the right practitioner that you
right.
feel comfortable and that the trust and the rapport can be built so that you can really relax in a session
Absolutely.
and be
Yeah,
receptive to the energy.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what lights you up when I we're talking about this earlier, but like, what type of people are you really excited to work with and that just kind of really light you up?
I love working with people who don't mind dropping an F bomb here and there.
Oh, is that why we're friends?
I know, that's why we're friends. I mean, like, there is a practitioner for everyone. There's practitioners who, like, if your style is to just kind of like have a very zen, experience and have someone hold space for you because you're really going through it. There's someone for that. And I mean, I myself still hit up people within our healing network because
Yeah,
there are just some days where I'm like,
yeah,
I'm going through it and I need someone to hold space for me. Um, and and that's kind of the type of experience that I want. But the type of like what lights me up, I love it when people just they hit the point where they look around, they're like, this person is a millionaire, this person has a great house, why not me? Why not you? Like, there's
mhm,
no reason why it can't be you. And so I just love just kind of working with people who are at that point, like who are ready to kind of just take charge of their reality and
yeah,
not are done playing victim. And they're like, why not me? And I'm really not here. I don't have like a blueprint of how to become a millionaire, in 30 days. I'm not here to kind of guide you in that way.
yeah,
I'm really just here to remind you that it's in you. It's in you, it's in all of us. And it's just a matter of, kind of getting out of your own way and just learning about energy, learning how to work with your energy, and with Reiki and everything, learning how to keep that channel clear so that you do get these like intuitive nudges and you start listening to them, and then, kind of like following breadcrumbs that the universe leaves you.
Mhm.
It'll take you to whatever aligned experience you're meant to have. And trust me, we want to just keep moving forward. We don't want to constantly be on this hamster wheel of just needing to relearn the lessons over
Right,
and
over
over
and over and
again.
over. It's like you touch the stove as a kid, and then you have to touch it like 5 more times to realize, like, oh no, it'll burn you every time. Like
Yeah.
if it's on, it'll burn your hand every time.
Yeah.
And
So
and
I
we
mean,
were
really, it's like, hey, like you touch the stove, it burned. Let's unpack that and let's move on. Let's keep
right.
moving. So,
And we talked about how you want to work with people who were like you, thought they have to go through this cookie cutter way of being growing up and check all the boxes and make your parents happy. And, especially for first generation, they feel like their parents have sacrificed a lot for them to be here and to
yes.
be in this country. And it's almost like I owe you until you're like,
Yes.
like for me, I remember when I got my master's degree and I walked across that stage and I was like, I'm gonna go do me now. And I really felt that sentiment in my body. Like I checked all the boxes that were expected of me from my parents. Any decision I make moving forward is truly just for me.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, you want to work with the misfits and the people who felt like no one understood them growing up, and they had some intuitive abilities, but they didn't know who to talk to about it. And
Right.
they didn't want to lean into it or seem weird, but they know that they have something going on there, that they're gifted,
Yeah.
and they don't know how to be in their family or community because they don't really have someone to talk to or turn to, and they need to just be around someone to say, it's okay that
Right.
you are gifted, it's okay that you have these intuitive senses, and you can let them come out and play now, and you can lean into them because that's your gift.
Right. Right. Exactly. And I mean, sometimes you just need that space. You just need that person to tell, like, almost give you that permission that it's okay to play now. Like, it's okay to kind of let it out. Like, let all of like the ooey gooey good light that is just that's been hiding inside of you out for the universe and everyone to bask in. Because I'm not gonna lie, it's been hard, even for my own experience, thinking, oh, well, I can't, I can't not be a doctor. What do you mean?
Like, what are your parents gonna say?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are they gonna say? But I mean, I went from being an accountant to IT to now working with energy and and energy healing and life coaching. And
Mhm.
this was by no means on my radar or my list of things of acceptable occupations. But
Right,
eventually you hit a place where you're like, no, we only have, one lifetime at this
right.
moment in time, and let's just make it worth it. Let's have fun. Let's dance in the rain. Who the f cares?
What was the moment where you jumped from receiving Reiki to going, I think I want to really lean into this gift more and facilitate for others and hold space and really do this work, not just receive it? What was that shift?
It was definitely when I became a mom. Because before I became a mom, I'm like, no, give it to me, just give it to me. Like, I don't want to do this. But again, like being responsible for another human being and knowing just a little bit about energy, how it works, and going through the ailments that, like, a 1, 2, 3-year-old goes through, the teething, the regress sleeping, and all of that. Like, the Reiki was just, it was priceless when it came to that.
Right.
And I completely, I would say that Reiki is one of the main reasons why everyone always comments about how well behaved my son is.
He's
How,
very zen. I
yeah,
feel like he's like a
yes,
monk ninja. If I have
yes,
to describe him, he's
yes,
like very zen. That's the
yeah.
best word I can.
And that is honestly because when he was a very young child, we did Reiki, and
Mhm.
it's been amazing. Been amazing ride. And my husband is also like just the number one left brain skeptic when it comes to all of these things.
Right.
But he also is now a believer in, at least just energy, Reiki, the benefits of it. Because once I got certified through Brit,
Yeah.
I brought these skills home, and then
Right.
and so I would definitely attribute the fact that we have just a very zen household
House.
because of
I
that.
feel the same way here too. I feel like we're very aware of the energy,
Hmm.
and our kids will hold the mirror up if we're not aware of that. Even today, like we were driving around and Reef just kind of kept making noises and like not being settled. And, he's non-speaking. So we're like, what is he trying to tell us, And it was like the area we were driving in, it just didn't feel, we're in a different neighborhood that we don't usually always go to. And he just kind of felt unsettled, or it's like when Rod gets frustrated and has a little bit of road rage and raises his voice at, the driver in the other vehicle,
Right.
Reef gets like, he starts getting uncomfortable because the energy is uncomfortable, and he'll start making noises to let us know, I don't like the energy in the space. So
Right.
the kids are just so smart like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the adults just need to catch up.
I mean, that's
They
what we're
just need,
doing. That's true. I mean, if
yeah.
anybody's like, what are all you healers doing? We're like helping the adults catch up so they can be better
Hmm.
parents to their kids,
Right.
and
Right.
raising their vibration to be where their kids are at,
Yeah.
or at least
Yeah.
closer to it so they can understand their child better.
Exactly, exactly. Because, when they come into this earth, they don't come in preconditioned. They come in as just a pure ball of light.
Yeah.
And it's really society and their experiences that add on that conditioning. So I definitely think that kids are like a, an amazing compass to kind of, or a thermometer to kind of tell us the temperature of the energy in the room. And it's
Oh yeah.
really us adults who need to kind of work on clearing our channels to be able to get on their level, to be able to, read these types of subtle cues that the
Hmm.
room or the universe is telling us. So
Just tell people a little bit more about your passion for human design and like how that you've seen and you want to continue to see that other tool help to connect parents and their children.
right. So human design is very I felt like it was a really good complement to all of the work and the studying that I've done with you when it
Mhm.
comes to just like Reiki and understanding energy, because the whole concept of human design is also based on energy. And it's just the fact that we all are energetic beings,
Mhm.
and we move differently from, like, from one person to the other to the other.
Mhm.
It kind of goes back to the whole, like, there's no cookie cutter recipe for each person.
Yeah.
It's just, with Reiki, it's a matter of clearing your energy, keeping it flowing. But with human design, it's also understanding how your own personal energy is meant to kind of like interact with other
Mhm.
energetic beings and
Yeah.
interact with the energy of the universe, or the energy of your environment at least.
Right.
So it was, I got into human design in 2019 as a byproduct again of being a misfit renegade. Like, why am I not like everyone else? Why do I one day want to be a nurse, the next day want to be a pilot, the next day want to be a chef? Like, why?
Right.
And after kind of diving deep into my own personal human design, I realized, well, shoot, it's because that's what I was placed on this earth to do, to really just collect all of these like experiential, all of these experiences to
Yep.
be able to share with other people. Like, hey, you don't have to do, everything according to A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes some people are here to guide energy. Some people are here to just like give off energy. Some people are here to just collect experiences and share that energy.
Mm.
It, and that's what I really, really appreciate about human design. It's really the art of differentiation versus trying to label a group of people one way and then saying like this is the way, and then having someone in that kind of label saying like, wait, but I'm not like that, despite the fact that you're telling me I'm like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely, I thought it was a perfect complement of
Yeah.
just energy work in general.
The last question that I have for you is, what is one book that you would recommend someone kind of going through this spiritual awakening, going through this process of rediscovering their truest self? What is a good book that you would recommend?
I would definitely recommend The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra.
Mhm.
It's an easy read. It's not, I don't even know if it's even 100 pages, but it's a very easy read, and it's easily digestible, and it kind of just goes into a lot of just the different laws of the universe, like law of karma,
Mhm.
law of,
Traction and all the other
yes,
things. Yeah.
yeah, because you know, mainstream media and mainstream, I guess, like a lot of mainstream people just like to not really harp on, but they like to focus on manifestation
Right.
and all of that stuff. But there's definitely a lot of different laws that come together to create this experience that we go through, this human experience, this experience that we're meant to go through in this lifetime. And I
Mhm.
found that that book was really helpful to understand all the other stuff that isn't as sexy as manifestation,
Right.
but
Right.
also puts you in a good place to really just keep on moving, keep your trajectory moving forward. Because, I mean, for example, one of the things is law of karma. You definitely want to learn that to
Yeah.
get off this hamster wheel of needing to relearn the same lesson over and over and over again. And it also really helps to make to kind of get that basis to help understand society a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, we see very unfortunate things happening on the news, and it's very easy to get wrapped up in that and have that affect your energy. But then having the basis of these like various laws of
Mhm.
these spiritual laws just
Yeah.
helps us understand a little bit better of just the chaos that's going on in the world, and maybe like why. So
Help you kind of step back and like a
yeah,
greater perspective,
exactly. It
because
gives,
in your past life regression, which I think everybody should do one, I asked you when you were in hypnosis, what is the number one complaint about humans? And I was asking this to beings that don't live here on earth while you were in hypnosis, and you said humans are so short-sighted,
yes.
which I started to pay attention to that in the last month. And I'm like, they really are so
Hmm.
short sighted. And that's why they just get so crazy, because they're only looking at what's right there in front of them and not how,
Exactly.
stuff that they've done in the past that impacts, or decisions they made before that impacts right now. Or if they make that decision right now, how is that going to impact you, in the future, not just right now? And I think
Right.
if humans weren't so short sighted and they could, it would be, I was telling Rod the other day, what if we were governed by the law of karma instead of government and church? We were governed by the law of karma and everyone just understood how that worked. And so you put more good out there and more good comes back. And people just
Exactly.
operated based off of that versus fear from church or fear from government.
Right.
And they were motivated by love, not motivated by
Exactly.
fear of these two pillars in
Yeah.
society. So Rod and I were going down that rabbit hole the other day, like, what if? And then I would say something, he goes, well, what if? And then he would say something, and we just keep going until we're like, yeah, what if we're just all governed by the law of karma? That'd be amazing. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you have a fly like bothering you, and you're, as humans, our first instinctual thing to do is like smack it dead. And imagine coming back as a fly in your next lifetime. Would you want that? I surely would.
Yeah.
So
It's
yes,
just humans are
definitely.
so short-sighted on how to make their situation better immediately, and not seeing how it's going to impact other people. And we
Exactly.
all are, you know, are getting better at that. But I definitely love speaking about the law of karma. Is something like I'm very passionate about speaking about. So if this conversation is piquing your interest, like please go learn more about it, or come to a mana session, or go Google it right now so you can start to understand it. Go buy the book that Melissa was talking about. And if you feel moved to book Melissa, all you need to do is fill out her contact form and then set up a discovery call and just kind of figure out if you guys are a great fit. So thank you, Melissa, so much. And I
Yes.
can't wait for you to continue to help and serve in the way that you do, so that more parents, more kids can really just start living this beautiful life in more harmony.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Awesome.
Thank you.